The snack wrap plus Caesar sauce equals extra crispy chicken Caesary greatness. Sounds delicious. Caesar sauce at McDonald's for a limited time. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, all backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.
Not all of our minisodes need to be from listeners. In fact, places or lesser-known cases can sometimes take us to dark realms. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another peek into a dark realm. And this week, we're looking at the northern edge of Manhattan. Above the roar of the traffic and the crowded city streets, there is a house that belongs to an older city. In Washington Heights, pale and columned, looking less like a ruin than a survivor. This building was built in 1765 as a country retreat for British officer Roger Morris and his wife, Mary Philipse Morris, when this part of Manhattan was still fields and woodland. 11 years later, during the American Revolution, George Washington used it as a military headquarters. After his retreat, British officers and Hessian troops occupied it. Armies passed through its rooms. Men planned other men's death over its tables. After the war, it became, amongst other things, a tavern and a roadside inn. Then in 1810, a wealthy French merchant, Stephen Jumel, and his formidable wife, Eliza, bought the estate. Their very arrival began the chapter that's most closely associated with the house's supernatural reputation. The mansion is now Manhattan's oldest surviving residence, and has operated as a museum for over a century. Its documented history is unusually rich, its paranormal history less orderly. Museum staff have kept accounts of unexplained incidents in what became known as the Book of Haunts. Visitors have described footsteps, voices, shadows, moving objects, and figures in period dress. Investigators have held seances in the bedrooms and called out into its stairwells. But none of that proves the dead are there. But according to a long-standing tradition, the mansion already had a reputation for being haunted when the Jumels bought it. Eliza is even have said to use that reputation to negotiate thousands of dollars off the asking price. Now, whether that detail is history or later embroidery, one thing is certain. Long before Eliza became the house's most famous ghost, people already believed something else was waiting inside. This is the dark realm of the Morris Jumel Mansion. As usual with Dark Realms, we're going to take a look at the 3 most famous spirits said to haunt this wonderful building. And we'll do our best to do it in a terrifying chronological fashion. So ideally, the last tale you hear should be the most unsettling. So let's begin. The first spirit we encounter is known as the Hessian on the staircase. This spirit belongs to the Revolutionary War. After Washington abandoned the mansion in October 1776, the property passed into British hands. British commanders occupied it at different times, as did officers from the German forces hired by Britain, commonly known as Hessians. Their presence in the house is documented. The death at the centre of the haunting is not. The legend claims that a Hessian soldier died on the main staircase. In some versions, he was drunk and lost his footing. In others, what witnesses mistook for drunken staggering was actually the final struggle of a mortally wounded man. An even darker version says he fell upon his own bayonet and died on the stairs, leaving something of himself fixed to the place where his blood ran out. But no surviving record identifies the soldier. There is no known casualty report confirming a Hessian died in precisely that manner at the mansion. His identity, his rank, even his death, all belong to folklore. And yet, the figure described over the years is remarkably consistent. A military man, unsteady on his feet, appearing on or near the staircase before vanishing. One persistent account concerns schoolteachers who allegedly encountered a revolutionary soldier in broad daylight. The story goes the figure did not simply appear in a corridor, instead it stepped out from a portrait. One teacher reportedly fainted. It's impossible to verify now, but the incident has remained attached to the mansion for decades. The more restrained accounts may be even more unsettling. Carol Ward, a former executive director of the museum, once led a group through the building when heavy footsteps sounded above them. The group was downstairs, and the upper floor was supposed to be empty. Carol Ward's explanation was chillingly simple. No one was on the second floor. Visitors have also reported seeing a shape rush up the staircase, only to find the upper rooms empty. Others describe meeting a man on the stairs who disappears before they can pass him. Maybe it's merely the acoustics of a wooden house. Maybe visitors arrive expecting a soldier and give a human form to every creak. But if the occult idea of a residual haunting is correct, if terror or violent death can indeed impress itself upon a place, then that staircase may not contain a thinking spirit at all, just a constant replaying of that soldier's death like we hear about in Stone Tape Theory. For our next spirit of this exceptionally dark place, we're going to take a look at one of the documented individuals. Indeed, one of the key figures in this mansion's long and dark history. That is Stephen Jumel, the man who accused his wife from the beyond. There's not much you can do about the money you have now, but if you want to do something about the money you could have tomorrow, Acorns wants to help. And with the Acorns Potential screen, you can find out what your money is capable of. Acorns is a smart way to give your money a chance to grow. It's easy. You can sign up in minutes and start automatically investing your spare money, even if all you have is spare change. Because Acorns grows with you. Whether you're just starting out or thinking about settling down, Acorns supports your big and small goals across every life stage. And the Acorns Potential screen shows you the power of compounding and how your money can grow over time. Plus, you can quickly adjust how much you're investing every day, every week, or month to make sure you're building toward your goals. Acorns is an all-in-one. No more finance apps cluttering up your phone. With Acorns, you can invest, save, and give your money a chance to grow in one trusted place. I've had and used many financial applications, but the specific thing about the Acorns app I love is the potential screen. Of all the apps I've used, it gives me such a clear picture of the opportunities for my cash to grow. So sign up now and Acorns will boost your new account with a $5 bonus investment. Join the over 14 million all-time customers who've already saved and invested over $22 billion with Acorns. Head to acorns.com/darkparanormal or download the Acorns app to get started. Paid non-client endorsements. Compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. Tier 2 compensation provided. Potential subject to various factors such as customers' accounts, age, and investment settings. Does not include Acorns fees. Results do not predict or represent the performance of any Acorns portfolio. Investment results will vary. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. View important disclosures at acorns.com/darkparanormal. I'll be the first to admit I am not the most organised man in the world, especially when it comes to organising a dinner party. There's usually always a missing ingredient, and normally it's the main ingredient, which then leads to a rushed supermarket trip to pick the best of the worst that's been left out. A problem that would simply not exist if I was stateside and able to use Omaha steaks. With the ability to get fresh Omaha steaks and keep them frozen in my freezer, I would never have this danger again. With things like their legendary steaks, their flavour-filled burgers, and seafood and chicken, it's like having your own trusted butcher and gourmet food shop right at home. And you may think, can frozen delivery be this good? Well, yes. Omaha steaks are known for their meticulous aging process and vacuum-sealed individual packaging. And if you've never tried them before, start perfectly with the Burger Perfection Flight. The Burger Perfection Flight includes 4 pure ground versions of the following meats: filet mignon burgers, New York strip burgers, ribeye burgers, brisket burgers, and sirloin burgers. Try the Burger Perfection Flight at omahasteaks.com today. That's 20 premium steak burgers for just $79.99 and get $35 off with the promo code BEEF. That's omahasteaks.com, promo code BEEF for $35 off at checkout. Terms apply, see the site for details. If you've been sitting on a business idea, Shopify makes it easy to make it happen. Everything you need to start selling is included and ready from day one. With Shopify, from the moment your first customer is ready to pay, Shopify Checkout helps all of them finish their purchases. And when they come back, their details are already saved. One tap and they're done. And because Shopify have built that structure to handle the setup, the checkout, etc., that means you have more time to grow your passions, to grow your business. And it gives you the tools to do it. And don't think Shopify is for people starting out. Shopify powers millions of known businesses worldwide, like Mattel and Gymshark, to small businesses like the one you're going to start. With Shopify, nothing stands between you, your idea, and a real business. So go make it one. Start your free trial at shopify.com/darkparanormal. Start your free trial at shopify.com/darkparanormal. Now, you'll have heard me talk about BetterHelp for a long time, but I don't know that we've ever actually talked about how much people love this service when they use it. But you can check it all out yourself at betterhelp.com/reviews and see those amazing customer reviews in real time. The reviews are updated every day with hundreds of people saying how much they love BetterHelp and how helpful it's been to them. Please visit betterhelp.com/reviews to see for yourself. BetterHelp has an average live therapy session rating of 4.9 out of 5 based on over 1.7 million client session reviews. The feedback from people who've actually used this service speaks for itself. And as more than 6 million people have used BetterHelp globally, it's easy to see why. This consistent feedback from real users make it easy to see why so many people continue to choose BetterHelp. BetterHelp therapists have at least 3 years and 1,000 hours of hands-on experience. They also hold all required education, training, and certifications across a range of mental health specialities. And BetterHelp makes it easy to get started. Answer a few questions, get matched with a therapist based on your needs, and switch therapists at any time if it's not the right fit. See the reviews, see what stands out, and see if BetterHelp is right for you. Visit betterhelp.com, that's betterhelp.com. Stephen Jumel arrived in New York from France and made his fortune through commerce. He and Eliza married in 1804 and purchased the mansion 6 years later, transforming it with expensive furnishings and lavish European tastes. Their wealth was considerable, but their marriage attracted gossip. Stephen died in 1832. The sober historical version is that he suffered injuries in a carriage accident and later died. The supernatural version is far uglier. According to the mansion's folklore, Stephen fell, or was pushed, from a wagon onto a pitchfork, one which pierced his body. He was carried back to the house alive and bandaged. During the night, the story claims, Eliza removed the dressings and allowed him to bleed to death. Another version says he was buried before he was truly dead. Of course, there is no historical evidence establishing that Eliza murdered him. The details vary because this is legend, not a proven criminal case. Though, with that said, in the mid-1960s, the accusation acquired an occult life of its own. Legendary ghost investigator Hans Holzer visited the mansion with the medium Ethel Johnson Mayers. During seances held inside the house, that medium claimed to make contact with Stephen. In front of a group of witnesses, the alleged spirit of Stephen did indeed accuse Eliza of arranging his fatal fall, causing his death. Different retellings of this seance provide different details. Removed bandages, deliberate neglect, even premature burial, but the central message remains the same. Stephen believes in all of these retellings his wife had murdered him. Of course, a seance cannot establish how a man died more than a century earlier. It can, however, create a powerful story inside the room where that man is believed to have suffered. Later investigators have reported deliberate tapping, footsteps on the landing, and sudden changes on electronic meters around the bedroom associated with Stephen's death. During one investigation, Anne Massey McElroy stood near a mirror and wrote, "I had the distinct sensation of being watched." She then reported seeing a solid shadow figure cross the room behind her. At roughly the same time, equipment near a bust of Aaron Burr, the man Eliza married after Stephen's death, registered an anomaly. And at the same time, footsteps came from beyond the bedroom door. Yes, old houses produce noises. Peripheral vision is unreliable, especially in dim rooms loaded with expectation. Yet the Stephen Jumel story is disturbing because it does not describe a passive ghost glimpsed at a window. It describes an alleged consciousness that returned via a medium to make a bold accusation. If the seance account is accepted on its own terms, Stephen had not remained because he loved the house. He remained because he believed he'd been betrayed, left to die, and denied justice. And if that is true, then the moans heard in the mansion are not merely the memory of pain. They are testimony. And in case you haven't guessed by now, our third and final ghost is that of Eliza Jumel, the mistress who refused to leave. Eliza's life reads like several ones forced into a singular one. She was born into poverty in Rhode Island in 1775. Hostile stories would circulate about her childhood and sexuality, many shaped or even created with the contempt wealthy New Yorkers had for a woman who had risen beyond the station they'd assigned her. However, what we do know is that Eliza survived an unstable beginning, married Stephen, crossed the Atlantic, and moved amongst powerful people, and she developed a formidable instinct for both property and money. After Stephen's death, she became extremely wealthy. In 1833, she married former United States Vice President Aaron Burr in the mansion's parlor. The marriage itself quickly collapsed, Eliza accusing Burr of wasting her fortune, and she filed for divorce. She spent her later years increasingly isolated and died in 1865. In life, Eliza fought to control her wealth, her reputation, her home. In death, according to legend, she surrendered none of them. The most famous encounter allegedly occurred in 1964, when a group of schoolchildren waited outside the locked museum. An elderly woman appeared on the second-floor balcony and ordered them to be quiet. In the bluntest retelling, she told them, "Shut up." Some versions add that she said her husband was ill. When the curator arrived, the children complained about the rude woman, and they were told the house had been empty and secured. Later, inside, the children saw a portrait of Eliza Jumel and identified her as the very woman who'd spoken to them from the balcony. It's an almost perfect ghost story. Multiple witnesses, daylight, a locked building, and recognition of a dead woman whom the children supposedly did not know. However, it's also a story that has passed through many retellings, so individual details should be treated with care. Museum manager Madeline Mungo summarised the activity as whispers, shadows, footsteps, and things breaking. Eliza has been seen in period clothing, moving through rooms or watching from above. Witnesses describe not fear at first, but the sensation of being monitored, as though the house itself has noticed some breach of etiquette. But the seances add something darker. When Hans Holzer and Johnson Myers attempted to communicate with the dead, the medium reportedly produced not only Stephen's accusation, but a personality identified as Eliza. This presence did not confess. It didn't repent. It didn't ask for help. It objected to the intrusion. It asserted that she was a lady, and she threatened to summon the police. It's noted amongst museum staff that there is a strong belief that these seances only made the place darker. Now, if the witnesses are right, the Morris Jumel Mansion isn't haunted because death entered it. It's haunted because somewhere in those rooms, death hasn't quite finished. Thank you for all joining me on this dark realm. I really enjoyed this case, and this building's now on my bucket list to go and visit. Don't forget, details on how to join our Patreon are in the show notes, as is a link to send your submission through to ourselves to be read out on the show. But until next time, stay safe and take care.
Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, all backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.